And great to welcome to the show today. A man who's written a book. He's going to help us get in shape and stay fit. And it's a really interesting concept he has. It's called 4-Minute Fit, the metabolism accelerator for the time crunch, dust-bound, and stressed out. And that's a lot of us out here. We're joined today by Siphiwi Baleka. He's out in Springfield, Missouri, also known as the America's Fittest Trucker. We'll find out about that as well. And Siphiwi, good to talk with you today. How are you?
I'm doing great, Doug. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, first of all, congratulations not only on the book, but you kind of transformed yourself. Just reading through the book quickly last night, you were an Olympic swimmer, and obviously you had to be in great shape for that, but then you took a job as driving a truck, and you found your body kind of getting out of shape quickly, didn't it?
Well, let me correct you. I wasn't an Olympic swimmer. I was an Olympic hopeful.
Okay, well, close.
In fact, back in 1992, my goal as a kid was always to try to make the Olympics. I was a state champion swimmer. I swam at Yale University. In 1992, this was my opportunity to realize that dream, and I missed Olympic trials by 0.8 of a second, and that actually changed everything and has led up to what I'm doing now. So not making the Olympics was a seminal moment for me, but I guess one of the things, and we talk about this in the book in 4-Minute Fit, how that led me onto this other path where I'm helping a lot of people that need help now.
Just watching the Olympics over the years, and I go back to when I was a kid, remember Mark Spitz and all the training he had to put in to become the champion he was. Now Michael Phelps is the guy everybody talks about, but it really comes down to thousands of a second, doesn't it, in that sport? So
absolutely. A fingernail.
Yeah. And you're right up there with the speeds, but that little infinitesimal amount is the difference between going, like last time, to the Olympics or staying home. So it really
Sure.
is a big change for you. Now, right after that, did you decide, well, I'm not going to do this anymore, I'm going to go into a different career?
This was my junior year at Yale, and, I was disappointed and heartbroken, and my heart wasn't in it anymore. I didn't want to swim anymore, even though I had one more year of eligibility left in college. So my coach, Frank Keefe, he was the coach at Yale at the time, he had convinced me to stay and said, hey, look, we still have an opportunity to win an Ivy League championship. Yale hasn't done that in over 15 years. If you leave now, you'll regret it. And he was right. He convinced me to stay. And interestingly enough, it came down to the last meet. It came down to a meet between Yale, Harvard, and Princeton, the three best teams in the league. It came down to the last race, which was a relay. I led off the relay, got them a lead. We held on, and we won the Ivy League championship. And then 3 days later, I left school. That was it. I was done. Didn't even stay for graduation.
Where'd you go next?
I went surfing. I went to California and I went surfing.
Well, obviously you took time to kind of figure out what you wanted to do, as all of us do at some time in our lives. But what kind of led you into getting back to the book 4-Minute Fit? What led you into the industry? You're a fitness consultant, right, for a trucking company? Is that right?
Well, yeah, I run a company called Fitness Trucking, and one of my my first and flagship client is Prime Inc., which is a trucking company based in Springfield, Missouri. They have about 7,000 drivers. And so when I left school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but there was this blank canvas, and I could basically sort of do whatever and reinvent myself. So I traveled around the world. I did that for about 15 years. Mm-hmm. Met all kinds of amazing people, amazing experiences all over the world, but didn't make any money, okay? And I knew that I needed a career change. So a friend of mine was a truck driver, and he's like, hey, you should get into trucking. It kind of suits your personality. You like to travel. It's a good fit for you. So I got into trucking sort of late in life, my late 30s, by default. And what led to the book 4-Minute Fit was I gained 10.7% of my body weight in the first 2 months of my driving career.
Right.
That's extreme. That's when I was like, wow, I've got to figure out how to take care of myself out on the road. And I had to answer the question, what's the most effective, least time-consuming way to burn fat and get results? And all of that was worked out in the 3 years that I was driving, and in the 4 years that I was coaching these other drivers to follow the system I built. And so the book is here's what we learned, here's how to do it, anyone can do it, and it only takes 4 minutes.
And then again, it's not just for people that drive trucks or drive for a living. It's people that sit at a cube, 8, 10 hours a day, and it's the same kind of thing there. You can just sit there and kind of atrophy without even realizing it, right? Or putting on weight, too.
Yeah, it's for anyone that needs to lose weight. And the idea behind the book, it was great that Simon & Schuster realized this. They were like, if this is working for truck drivers, which is the most unhealthy occupation in America. I mean, they have the highest rate of obesity. Right. They have the highest rate of metabolic syndrome, which is a cluster of 60 medical disorders and 12 cancers. Has the lowest life expectancy. And then truck drivers have a whole host of challenges. They live in a box. They don't have access to a kitchen. They have food storage issues. They can't get to the organic farmers market. They can't park their trucks at a gym, so they're not getting to a gym. So they realize, hey, if this is working for truck drivers, this can work for anyone.
Now, when you decided to put this together, obviously based on, and in the book too, you have pictures of different exercises that you kind of put together and break it down into 4 minute segments a day. But how did you kind of come up with those exercises?
Well, actually, so here I am in my truck, and I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work in this unique environment. Okay, so I'm trying every kind of fitness product, from dumbbells and kettlebells and sandbags and medicine balls and weighted vests and resistance band, you name it, every kind of fitness product, every kind of fitness program, every kind of nutrition and diet. I was trying it to see what works and what doesn't work in this unique environment. What I realized was there's a nutrition and fitness program for everyone in America, except one specifically designed for long-haul truck drivers. Right. So I decided I was going to design that system, and I very quickly realized that time was a factor. And there were all these things I used as excuses. If I had to set up equipment, how much time it was going to take. If I had to move away from the truck, even if I had to change clothes. All of the, because there's no showers on the truck. That's not, doing laundry is not something that is all that easy for drivers. So I learned very quickly the only thing I could reasonably commit to was I had to be able to open the door, step out right on the side of my truck with no equipment, without changing clothes. I had to be able to exercise for 15 minutes, get back in the truck, and then drive off. And to get results within that 15 minutes, I had to get at least 4 minutes of maximum intensity in order to get the results.
And a lot of the exercises, just again, a lot of great pictures in the book, push-ups, stretching, those kind of exercises as opposed to lifting weights, right?
Well, what it is it's body weight movements where you're using as many different muscle groups as possible. So we call those multi-muscular exercises. The idea is if you're using all the muscles at once, you're creating such a high demand for energy that you literally train your body to burn fat in a very effective and efficient manner. And that's the missing link for so many people. Even if they're active, if you're not getting the intensity, then you're not having an effect on your metabolism.
Right. And again, the other side of that coin is the food aspect of it, and unfortunately, like you said, the truck drivers they don't necessarily eat that well. You're stopping at truck stops, right? Not the healthiest food in the world. It might taste good, but it's not always healthy, right?
Well, that's not the issue. This is why I did the book. It was an eye opener when I realized this. That's the common. We think you can't get healthy food on the road. That's not the issue. The issue is because the drivers' schedules are changing. Sometimes they're driving in the day, sometimes at night, sometimes they're not driving at all. This is having an effect on their circadian rhythms, okay? And also because when the drivers do sleep, quite often they're interrupted for, whether it's alarms going off in the truck or they have to walk in and out of a shipper's office or whatever it is. So when you take these two things, the disruption to your circadian rhythms and the interrupted sleep, it's creating sleep deprivation. Right. And here's the problem with that. The hormones that regulate your metabolism are produced in your sleep. What we discovered was happening to these drivers were either they weren't getting the signal that they're hungry and they need to eat, so they didn't feel hungry, so they skipped meals. And when you don't eat, your body goes into starvation mode and it wants to hold fat.
Right.
So that was happening to most drivers, but if that wasn't the case, then they were on the other end of the spectrum. They weren't getting the signal that they're full and that they need to stop eating. So they felt hungry all the time, so they were eating all the time. The bottom line is the root of it was it was a metabolic issue. It was a hormone issue that the drivers weren't aware of.
Yeah, and I've done that in this business. And early on, you have to work overnights, and I found that myself. Yeah, you're not really eating properly. You're working during the night, sleeping during the day, and you're eating. It's all messed up. So you're right. It does mess everything up, or it can mess everything up.
So we have some strategies in the book that even if you can't control a changing schedule like truck drivers, and I mean this is relevant to people who work a night shift or a split shift and it's changing, even if you can't control the sleep, there are things that you can do during the way to serve as a regulator or a thermostat on your metabolism. And so one of the things is turn your metabolism on before you start your day, and then eat every 3 hours to give your metabolism work to do. But the key thing is you got to eat the right thing, and we talk about that in the book.
Yeah, you got some in the back. You have a lot of food charts and different types of things that's better for you to eat. But it's a great idea for a book called 4 Minute Fit. Again, the Metabolism Accelerator for the time-crunched, desk-bound, and stressed out. We've been talking with America's fittest trucker, Siphiwi Baleka, today. And Siphiwi, give out your website. People can get more information about the book.
Okay, so you can get the book at 4minutefitbook.com. That's the number 4, minutefitbook.com. And also, one of my partners, Progressive Commercial, helped me develop some really great free content that is available to anyone who wants to buy the book and get started today and be able to see what some of these exercises are and what you can do. And you can get all of that free content by going to www.truckerterritory.com.
Great. Well, Siphiwi, pleasure talking to you. I know it's a busy day for you with the interviews, but hope our audience out here gets a chance to get the book, and hopefully we can talk to you again. But thanks for being with us today.
Hey, you bet, Doug. Thanks for having me.
I'm Stan Brock. 30 years ago, I formed Remote Area Medical to help people overseas. But then we found generations of families in America isolated by poverty from the health care they need. Together, we can take dental, vision, and medical help to 1 million adults and their kids, right here at home in the United States of America.
If you'd like to order the book we're talking about, please go to DougMilesMedia.com and enter the author's name in the Amazon search box. Thank you for listening. Please come back soon for more conversations here at DougMilesMedia.com. This has been a presentation of Doug Miles Media, all rights reserved. You can listen to or download previous programs at iTunes, Stitcher.com, or Doug Miles.